Hey everyone, this is Ben from Cheddar Flow, and today's a very important video because I do want to go over the dark pool feature of Cheddar Flow. And not only that, I want to give it a little bit more depth just because there's a lot of people out there that don't really understand it that much, which is totally fine. It is something that can be kind of complex. And my goal in this video is to kind of make more sense of it for everybody watching. So this is a very important feature that we have in Cheddar Flow because it gives us a sense on what large institutions are doing behind the scenes. Remember, dark pool exchanges are only for large funds and banks that they can exchange shares with each other, not on the public exchanges that you and I are able to trade on as retail traders. So these are behind the scenes, and it is perfectly legal that they are able to do this. Remember, they have a lot of size. As you can see here, we had $7 billion in premium traded today at that 457 level. And if they did this during the day on normal exchanges, it would just tank the market. If they were selling or buying, it would just shoot it straight up. So they need to do it off the exchanges because it is way too much money to locate all at once, and it's important that they do it outside of it. So there is some controversy behind it just because there are a lot of interesting practices that they have behind the scenes that maybe retail doesn't like, but for the most part, we have to play with the cards we're dealt, and dark pool levels are very important to look at, and in this video, I'm going to go over them. All right, so what I want to start off with is SPY, so the S&P 500 ETF. This is very important because it gets the most dark pool volume. So basically, it's getting the most prints, so the amount of prints that it receives at a certain level, exchange shares, and it also gets the most premium each day on average. So for today, as example, we had prints all throughout the 450s, even in the high 449s. And then we also had a very large print, which I talked about in the intro here, that is 7 billion in premium at 457.53. Remember, dark pools can be buys or sells. We do not know because we did not do the transaction. Half of the point of it being a dark pool is that we don't know what the intention was behind the trade. So we can assume because end of day we closed at 449.27 that this was a sell, very likely that it was, and they sold quite a bit at highs. And basically the reason that I know that it was quite a bit is because I am contextualizing based on the previous days that we've had in terms of premium. So for example, 7 billion is a lot. Anything over 4 billion in premium is a huge chunk of change. Obviously, anything in the billions is a lot, but anything over 4 billion is pretty rare. You do see it maybe once every week, once every 2 weeks, that you have that much accumulation at a certain level, but that is a lot, and it's very crucial to know when those come through the tape because typically big moves happen afterwards. So for today example, 457 was that big sell, and then we sold off quite a bit off of that. So very important to note that they were selling at this level. Basically, my goal here is to go over the levels and how you can use them in this video today, and then also how you can use it with individual tickers. So SPY, for example, as I showed you, they have that big sell here, and this wasn't a print that happened intraday that you could have seen all at once. It actually, if we go over here, was something we call a signature print. And basically, signature prints, which you can see here, there's actually 61 signature prints that came through the tape today. Signature prints are prints and exchanges of shares that happened at overseas markets, so like on European trade desks, and the institutions that did that exchange don't actually have to share that print until 24 hours after it occurred. So basically, this signature print occurred the day before today, so it happened on Wednesday. And they're allowed to do this just because they are working with so much premium that if the general public knew what they were doing at a certain level, they could buy or sell based off of that level instantaneously with them. So that's kind of why they get that leeway here. And we actually did reach this level today, and it was rejected off of the level. So it did act as a form of a resistance today, and you could take a short position off of that. But very important to note that these do come in after the day that they did take place, at least the signature prints. These ones are normal and they come within 20 seconds of the print occurring, but signature prints are useful to look at because you can determine if that was a buy or a sell for the previous day. All right, the second thing I want to talk about here is how you can use it for individual tickers. Now remember, everything is all about perception in the dark pools. A certain amount of premium, for example, Microsoft, like this 700 million print, is a lot just for Microsoft. For SPY, it's quite a bit. However, it's not as much as maybe that I'm looking for. I like to see stuff that's over the billions. It still would be quite a bit, but I like to see over the billions. Microsoft, $700 million print is insane. A $922.4 million print is also insane. And they both came in at that same relatively same time, at that same exact spot price. So this is $1.7 billion in premium almost that occurred at this spot price. And this happened on Wednesday, happened on February 8th. So actually, my bad. It happened on Tuesday. It was after hours and it happened on February 8th. And basically, a print like this is very, very rare for Microsoft. And the only reason that I knew that is because I've been watching these for a while. Remember, it's all about experience and how you use these. Because I've been watching them for a while, I have not seen prints like this in a very long time on Microsoft. And I knew that there would be a large move that preceded it. Now, based on dark pools alone, I knew that there was going to be a large move, but I didn't know what direction because remember, these could be buys or sells for both of these. So I went over and looked at the chart. And basically, what I saw on the chart the other day, when this occurred, was this print happened right after hours at this level, which I have marked right here. It actually was breaking out of a trend line, and I added some share position after hours to see if we did get a gap up. We did get a gap up. I exited that share position and did buy the dip with some weekly contracts down here for potential to go up, and we did close up quite a bit. So did get out of some of those. I did hold some overnight, and we actually gapped down, so I did close out of those, but thankfully got out as a profit. But very important to see that this was a large level, and the big move did proceed after it. It was a 3% move almost on Microsoft. That's like insane. So big move did happen after. We did dump afterwards, but this was used well to be able to trade off of that. And that's only because I knew that this was a lot of premium for Microsoft. Plus, it worked out with my chart thesis along with risk reward. If we gap down, I would have cut that. Or if we closed below 303, I would have cut it as well the following day. So I liked using this a lot just because I knew that there was a large print on it. And we did have that large move that happened afterwards as well in tech. Now, what's also interesting is that same day, we had huge prints in also Google, INTC for Intel, AMD, and the Qs. So we had almost a billion print in Google, same day as Microsoft. AMD and Intel had it as well, and then also QQQ had quite a bit as well. So when we see a lot of large dark pool orders on a specific sector such as tech, all coming through after hours on a certain day, that typically means that tech in general, so the Qs, is going to move in a very large fashion really soon. So it doesn't have to be the day following, it tends to be, but it can be within the next few days. And that's important to know because not only can you nail a trade note with that knowledge, you also can hedge your risk. Remember, you don't even have to be a trader to use cheddar flow. If you have a long-term position or a medium-term swing position, you can know, hey, there's a big move that's happening, and if things go south, I can cut early before it really starts to go down a lot because I know that there's going to be a big move coming. So you can use it in different ways, all up to you. But yeah, QQQs also has the signature print come through. They had all these today. And it also got quite a bit of volume. But yeah, tech had a very strong day on February 9th, which we were able to play with this Microsoft move. But today we did sell off quite a bit. So I am right now watching the dark pools to see if there's any buying around this lower end range to potentially go for a long intraday and trade off of that. But a lot to learn in here. If you guys have any questions, make sure to comment them down below. I would love to answer those. And dark pools are very interesting. They can be very difficult to understand, but once you do, they can be very helpful as well. It's as helpful to me as the flow is on cheddar flow. So very crucial to use this dark pool levels feature down here and somehow incorporate it in your trading like I have. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the weekly recap this weekend.